Hi, it's time to cook again. I know it's been a while, but real estate was crazy last year, and that, of course, is my priority. So now that the holidays are here, I have a little break and I feel like baking. One thing I love are chocolate cake donuts. I don't mean the little cake donuts with chocolate icing, I mean real chocolate cake donuts. I've only been able to find them one place, and that's Dunkin' Donuts, which is not necessarily close to where I live. So I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to make chocolate cake donuts. So hopefully you'll follow along with me. It's pretty simple, actually. First, preheat your oven to 375. Have a little donut pan here that I've sprayed with cooking spray. And so we're going to start. First of all, get this in camera. I have 2 cups of flour in here, 1 cup of sugar, just granulated sugar, and 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips. Isn't that, I mean, how bad is that so far? Sounds great. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I like the mini chocolate chips because it just distributes more chocolate rather than having a few of the big ones. Okay. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder and 1 teaspoon of espresso powder. No, they're not going to taste like coffee, but the coffee somehow always accentuates the chocolate. It makes it taste fabulous. So I'm going to dump that into the bowl. I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Again, salt is just part of the baking process. I don't know the chemistry of it. I'm sure someone out there does. So I'm going to mix all of this up, so you can see. Maybe who doesn't love chocolate, right? And these are going to be baked, so let's consider them healthy, right? At least that's what I'm telling myself. Of course, I have to make sure I get 1 or 2 of these before my husband finds out I'm doing this, because he has a sweet tooth like you wouldn't believe. Okay, that's pretty well mixed. Now over here I've got 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and you know I always add an extra dash, 3/4 cup of sour cream, and over here I have 1/2 cup of milk and 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. So first I'm going to mix the eggs and the sour cream together, just because that's the way I'm going to do it. All right. Once I get all this mixed, easier said than done. Once I get all this mixed, then I'm going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Now, it'd probably be good if you set the sour cream out a little while and the eggs, let them warm up a bit. Probably be easier to mix, but I didn't because I didn't think about it. Okay, now I'm going to add the milk and the oil. Sorry, here you go. Let's use the same cup. Why dirty another cup? I don't have a sous chef doing my dishes, so I'm going to do it this way. Hopefully you all had a good holiday season. We did. As usual, I'm glad it's over. All right, now I'm going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Pretty simple so far, right? Probably should have gotten a bigger bowl, but whatever. I think you can see me mixing this up. Now, once you get this mixed up, a lot of people will put this in like a Ziploc bag, or if you want to get out a pastry bag, that's fine. Cut the tip off and then load the donut pan that way. You can also just take a spoon and do it, whichever way you want to do it. Whatever's easier for you or whatever you have handy. I'm stirring this slowly because I don't want to lose any of it. I don't want to spill. And I'm famous for being a messy cook. So here we go. Almost there. Thanks for sticking with me. I mean, all donuts are good, but there's something about a chocolate cake donut that you just can't beat. Some people will put chocolate icing on top of this, which you can. I'm just going to do a glaze because that's what I prefer. Just a light glaze once it's finished, obviously, and cooled. I think we're just about there. Okay, I believe we've got it all mixed. Okay, let's do what the recipe calls for. I'm going to take a Ziploc bag and start loading it. It would be easier actually if I had something to put this in, but we're going to do it this way. Okay, let's roll this down and make less of a mess. I see people do this all the time. Let's see if it's a good idea or just a waste of a Ziploc bag. I'll make sure I get it all loaded in there. I tell you, this looks fabulous. How bad can it be if it's chocolate, right? Okay, set that aside and bring my pan over here. I'm going to close up my Ziploc and get as much air out as I can. Then I'm going to cut off one end of the bag here. Be good if you had sharp scissors. There we go. Okay, so I've cut off that end. I'm going to twist up the top here. Now hopefully you can see this. Let me adjust just a minute. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. Okay, there's one, two, okay, we're just going to keep doing this till we get the pan full. I've got a little on the top. I'll go around and smooth that out in a second. Can't wait for these to be done. You cook them in 15 to 18 minutes in your 375 oven. And again, that depends on your oven. My oven, I don't know, quite frankly, it's not very consistent, so I have to watch them. But if your oven, you're confident is in the right temperature and consistent, then just set your timer for 15, check it, and see how it goes. Now you'll never have to search for a chocolate cake donut again if you were searching in the beginning. Okay, I'm just going to clean up the edges here. Yes, I'm using my fingers, so what? Okay, so now this is going to go in the oven for 15 to 18 minutes, and then we'll be back. I'll show you what they look like. We'll put a glaze on them, and then we're going to enjoy every last one of them. See you shortly. Hi, I'm back. So our donuts are cooked. It made about 1.5 dozen. Aren't those adorable? Right through there. Now I'm going to make a glaze for them. You certainly could eat them this way. You could put your chocolate icing on it, but I prefer just to do a glaze. I've got some powdered sugar that I sifted. I'm just eyeballing this, however much you want. I probably have too much here. Of course, I'm adding vanilla. And I have some heavy cream that I'm going to use. You could use regular milk or water even if you wanted. And add a little bit at a time because you never know how the powdered sugar is going to absorb it, and you don't want it to be too runny. You don't want it to be too thick. Kind of like the baby bear, right? Got to get it just right. So I'm just going to keep adding some of this. Now I put a piece of parchment underneath my tray of donuts here because you know it's going to drip on the counter, and this is easier than cleaning. You just throw the parchment away when you're done. Okay. Now some people like the flavor of orange and chocolate. You could add a little orange juice to this glaze if you wanted to give it just a hint of orange flavor or some flavoring. I like it just almost there. It's important to sift your powdered sugar so you get rid of those lumps. Nobody wants a lumpy icing. It's still a little bit too stiff. More cream. I want to be able to dip my donuts in this. You don't have to. You can certainly drizzle. But it's just what I like to do. Okay. Get some of this off of my whisk here. Get rid of this. I think it's about the right consistency. I may add one more drop and just stir it around. This is so simple. I hope you try it. Okay, we're just about ready. Here we go. I'm just going to dip the donut, kind of twist it around a little bit, get some good coverage. One hole. There we go. How's that? Isn't that gorgeous? So obviously the donuts have cooled by now. I'll do one more and then we'll sample because I can't wait. And again, put as much on here as you want. Okay, let's go back to this one. Put this into, you see how nice that looks? Let's sample. Oh, this is wonderful. And with the chocolate chips in there, you get that extra little surge of chocolate. Well, I'm going to finish this. Thank you for joining me. I hope you give it a try, and I'll see you the next time it's time to cook. Thank you.